let's talk about negative exponents. So far, you should have done the following rules of exponents. Okay, you guys should know what happens when you multiply two numbers and you add the exponents. Numbers with the same base. I keep forgetting to say that, right? And then you should know what happens when you divide them. Okay, same thing happens. And now we're going to learn what happens when you have negative exponents. There are two ways we can investigate negative exponents. Okay, so first of all, let's say I have x to the 5 over x cubed. What does this mean? What does x to the exponent of 5 mean? Tell me in the chat. Remind me. I say you have x to the exponent of 5. What does that mean? Remember, we're trying to get an understanding of negative exponents and what they mean. So I need you guys to be with me here. What does x to the exponent of 5 mean? Anybody home? How many x's there are? Okay, so write it out, guys. What does it mean in expanded form? X to the exponent of 5 means x times x times x times x times x. Okay, x times itself 5 times. Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much. And then in our denominator, what do we have? So we have over 3 of them, right? X times x times x. So this is a good way to remember laws of exponents, right? Tando, I'm hoping you meant to say x there, not 1. But yeah, we get the point. So when we are subtracting, this is where law number 1 comes from. When we are subtracting exponents, it's because generally when you are dividing numbers, you are allowed to cancel them out. So 1x cancels out, 2 of them cancels out, 3 of them cancels out. How many x's are left in the numerator? We still have 2. So if you worked this out, you would still have x squared, right? But what happens if you have more x's in the denominator than you have in the numerator? So let's say we have x3 over x5. You guys tell me what you think is going to happen there. Give me ideas in the chat. What happens if you have more x's in the denominator than you do the numerator? Eddie, go for it. Hello, Eddie. Hello. Okay. Eddie's...
Okay. Ma'am, would you subtract them?
You would subtract them.
Won't it be x to the power 2?
So which one do we subtract from which one, Eddie? The numerator minus the denominator, right? So that would be 3 minus 5, which is -2. Thank you, Kando. So -2 means, let's write this out like we did for the first one. Okay, there are 3 of them times x there. And there are 5 in the denominator. X times x, 1, 2, 3. So we have 2 left, but where are they? The x's that are left will be in the denominator. Okay, so the first way to understand it is that way, or the method that Eddie has told us, which is if you have 2 and you are subtracting, nope. x3, then you would just say that would be x to the exponent of 3 minus 5, which will be x to the -2. Hopefully you guys understand. Out of all of this, the only thing I was trying to say is this. Okay, check out our rule there is what we are trying to say. If you have a base to the negative exponent, which we do have over here, negative a, we can rewrite this as 1 over your base to the positive x. Okay, sometimes your teachers will be like, write this answer with a positive exponent. This is how you would do it. Okay, I hope we understand each other. Now let's look at these. What's the answer to the first one? X cubed divided by x to the exponent of 4. What do you think the answer will be for that one? You can use either rule. Try and figure it out. What will we write here? We're all very quiet. Are we understanding what's going on? Science makes me nervous. Eddie says it's 1 over x exponent 1. Thank you, Eddie. Anyone else? There are a lot of you guys in here. There's like 50 something.
Yeah. What about everybody else? What are you thinking? Because
What's everyone
what's the
thinking?
answer?
Tando says x to the negative 1. I have a 1. I'm not sure about 1. Everyone else? I have a negative x to the power of negative 1. So essentially, your answer can be x to the negative 1 or 1 over x. Does not matter. They both mean the same thing. Okay. It's not negative x, Anele. Be careful. You either say 1 over x or you say x to the exponent of negative 1. You have to ask yourself, where is the x left over? Is it in the numerator or the denominator? And it will be in the denominator. Okay. So we just said these are the same. So x to the exponent of negative 1 equals, this is just the question repeated itself, 1 over x. How will we answer this one? X to the power of negative a. You're welcome, Anele. What would that be? Novoyo? I see your hand is up. Hello, Novoyo.
I wanted to ask a question for
Okay.
the first thing the first time. Where do you get 1 from?
We get it from subtracting. Were you here at the beginning of the lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
So there has to be an x that is left, right? We cannot say 0 because then otherwise it means there are no x's left. If you are subtracting, remember, law number 2, I believe, says if you are dividing numbers with the same base, what do you do to the exponents?
Minus them.
You minus them, but you always go the numerator minus the denominator. So what's the numerator in this case?
X to the power of 3.
Well, it's 3 minus, what's in our denominator?
4.
4. Okay, now our integers coming into play. How much is 3 minus 4?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Do you see?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You feel better?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, Novoyo. Okay, I see answers in the chat and I am very nervous. A lot of you are saying negative a over x. A lot of you are saying negative a over x. Remember, a is the exponent. Okay, it can't become the numerator suddenly when it's the exponent. Tando, do you have a question?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the answer is negative a over x. But my other answer is a over x. So I wanted to find out, is the first one right or is the second one right?
Okay, let's talk about this, okay? In this case, I would understand why you guys are confused and thinking that the one in the exponent goes to the top. That is not what happens, okay? Let's talk about an example where we don't have 1 as a remainder. How about we do that? Will you do that with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we are on the side now. Let's
Okay.
take x to the exponent of 6 over, no, the bigger one should go to the bottom. Let's say x cubed over x to the exponent of 6. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's apply our rules now, okay? So we have an x, and we are subtracting because we're dividing. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
There we go. So which one do we subtract from which one?
3 minus 6 because the x cubed is the numerator and the x to the power of 6 is the denominator.
Wonderful, right? So then our
Yes, ma'am.
answer is x, excuse me, to the exponent of what? What's 3 minus 6?
Minus 3.
Negative 3. Okay. Now, pay attention, guys. This negative 3 does not become the numerator. Okay. If we were to do this question in expanded form, we would have had x times x all over 6 of them. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
X times x. That's 6 of them, right? Okay, that one cancels with that. Second one cancels with that. That one cancels with that one. What is left in the numerator?
1, 2, 3. 3 is left, ma'am. Well,
No,
minus 3 is
dividing.
left.
You
Yes,
are
ma'am.
dividing, remember?
Yes, ma'am.
So x divided by x is how much?
X.
No, remember, anything divided by itself, if I say 2, 2 divided by 2, how much is that?
It's 1.
1, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
x goes into itself once, done. Once, done. Once, done. But we are multiplying here, we're not adding, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's 1 times 1 times 1?
1 times 1 times 1, ma'am. It's 1, ma'am.
It's 1. So in the numerator, we're left with 1. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
But in the
Also,
denominator, we still have x's that we haven't used up. How many of them are there?
3.
3 of them. So then our answer is 1 over x to the exponent of
3.
3.
Oh.
Do you see
Okay.
that?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
my point is x to the exponent of negative 3 is not the same as 3 over x. It's the same as 1 over x cubed. So all we did was make the exponent positive.
Okay, ma'am.
Do we understand now? Do you want to try this one again?
I'll give the question to somebody else.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Guys, after listening to the explanation, what do you think the answer is now? Think about it carefully. Okay? If x to the negative 3 is equal to 1 over x cubed, what is, okay, Amashe says x over 1. Amashe, I'm not sure, the way you wrote it is confusing me. Anyone else want to try?
Yes, ma'am.
There we go, Esther, hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Go for it, my dear. What's the answer?
1 over a 1 over x exponent a.
Thank you. So you guys get it. We are just putting these things as exponents that are positive. Okay, so if I have x to the exponent of negative 5, I can rewrite this as 1 over x 5. 5. If I have x to the power of -4, can rewrite this as 1 over x to the power of 4. And the reason is over here. Okay, there will be no x's left at the top. They canceled out, so you only have a 1, but you have x's left at the bottom. It's just an extension of rule number 2. Hand just went up. Oratile.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
So, ma'am, what will happen if, like, ma'am, you don't put the 1, ma'am, or you don't put the ma'am, if you don't put the 1, ma'am?
So what would you put? Like, give me a scenario of what you want to put there. Like, if you just put x cubed, is that what you mean?
Yes, ma'am.
It doesn't mean the same thing. Remember? See here on the side, we did an example of why it ends up being that way. X cubed means there are x's left at the top. Let's go back to our first example that we did here, right? The first answer was x squared because there were 2 x's left over in the numerator. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it mean the same thing as 2 x's left over in the denominator?
No, ma'am.
Doesn't.
So, ma'am,
You see why?
ma'am, is
Mhm.
like, ma'am, is it fine if you just leave like the numerator, or should we write everything down?
What do you mean if you just leave the numerator?
Because, ma'am, like, isn't 1 is equal to x, or am I wrong, ma'am?
1 is not equal to x. Okay, we assume that we don't know what x is. We're just
Okay, thank you,
applying
ma'am.
the laws of exponents and then trying to
Okay.
see what we get. Okay, so look at these
Okay.
side by side. If the denominator is bigger, then you have x's left over in the denominator. But if the numerator is bigger, then your x's that are left over will be in the numerator because you won't have any more to cancel out. You see?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, here's a bit of a challenge. What is the answer to this one? 1 over a to the exponent of -1. What do you guys think? We are over here. Oratile? Oh, Oratile I just spoke to her. Baby. What do you guys think in the chat? Give me ideas. Hey, oh, we are understanding. So here, in this case, we move it to the numerator. So it will become from a -1, it will be a 1 over 1, but we never write over 1, right? So it's just going to be a, or a to the exponent of 1. Nice. I hope you guys get it. Okay, the point is just that you can move your variables to the numerator or the denominator according to the exponents. Okay, let's do one more. So if I have a to the exponent of, let's say 1 over exponent of -2. How can I rewrite this with a positive exponent? Let's try again. Let's try again. You guys are getting there. How can we rewrite this as a positive exponent? Nope, we're not getting there. It's very quiet. There we go. Amasa says a squared. Wanga, check. Check what we have there. Vutuhawe says the same thing, a squared. Novuyo, do you have a question or are you answering?
Ma'am, I'm answering.
There we go. So how can we rewrite this with a positive exponent?
Ma'am, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think the answer would be a to the power of 2.
A squared. Thank you very, very much. You are correct. Ma'am, can you borrow from the other side? What are we borrowing, my dear? Raise your hand and let's talk about it. Is it Azandre? Yes. Okay, when you raise your hand, we can talk about borrowing. Okay. Let us speak about the following. Okay, we have two examples. Example 1 and example 2. First, we're going to apply law number 2, which is a subtraction of exponents, and then we're going to write the answer in terms of a positive exponent. Okay, so now tell me, equals. If I subtract these exponents, so I'm going to have x 6 minus 8. That's law number 2. What is my answer going to be? Let me know in the chat, what will my answer be? Yes, hand just got up. I don't know whose hand it is, but I saw a hand somewhere. Okay, Amashe. Okay, seems like we have consensus in the chat. Shokhonolo as well says -2. Tando says -2. Okay, so we don't have a problem with applying law number 2, right? Wanga, be careful. I'm hoping it was just a typo. Miolo, Amashe, we're all saying the same answer. Guys, if your answer is already in the chat, I still want to see it so that I know that you're here and you get what's going on. And if your answer is different, you write your different answer so we can talk about it and see where your mistake is. Josh agrees. Lesiba says just -2. Lesiba, don't drop on me. Write the full answer. Sunday. Great, guys. So it's going to be x to the -2. How do we write this in terms of a positive exponent? Tell me in the chat how I would rewrite that. Ivile agrees. Okay, so we all agree with the subtracting part, right? Tell me how am I going to rewrite this in terms of a positive exponent? Katohatsi. Hello. You are unmuted, but I can't hear you. Everyone, remember, new instruction, rewrite this as a positive exponent. Don't change the question, but rewrite it as a positive exponent. Remember the rule we just did. Okay. Amatle, you're almost there, not quite. You are missing something very crucial. And Novoyo. Lee is onto something. Okay, guys, you all have to do it, otherwise you will not understand it. Tato Khatsi is not unmuting. Karabo. Hello, Karabo. Karabo. Is it just me who can't hear everyone? I hope it's not just me. Okay, we are changing our answers. I need more answers in the chat, guys. We cannot just be quiet. You have to participate. Wanga says 1/x². Mpocho says x². Aneda says x². Evile says x². Guys, we are forgetting our rules. We are forgetting our rules. Is it just x²? Is x² and x to the -2 the same thing? Yamu and Tato say the same thing. Gia is confused. Nelisa helped us very nicely there. KG says 1/x². We are still on A. You guys haven't finished answering the question on A. Leacho, that is the question, the answer currently, but we want to rewrite it with a positive exponent. KG says, same thing. I'm hoping Tando just did a mistake. Okay, guys, remember, this is 1/x². Okay, and we showed you why it's 1/x². Okay, there will be x's left at the bottom because this is the same as 6x's x times x times x. I hope that's 636 over 8 of them times x times x times x times x. If you cancel out 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, How many are left and where are they? At the top, you're left with just 1. And then at the bottom, you have an x squared. So it's supposed to be 1 over x squared, guys. It's not the same as x squared. Pay attention to details. Novoyo, do you have a question? Nope, Novoyo vanished. Karaba's hand is still up, but not unmuting. Do we understand why it has to be 1 over x squared? You cannot just say x squared, guys. X squared means there are x's in the numerator, but in this case, we only have x left in the denominator. Are we understand?
Maybe we should do an example with numbers. Have 2 to the power of -2 and 2 to the power of 2 and see the difference between the sum, the answers that you get, even using a calculator.
I think so. Okay, guys, let's try this. Let's try this with numbers, okay? If we have 2 cubed and 2 -3, put that in your calculator and tell me what the answer for each of these is. You should know 2 cubed without having to use your calculator, but it's fine. It's definitely not 4. Be careful, Eddie. It's not 2 squared. How much is 2 cubed? 8. Right, the answer is 8. Okay, hopefully all of you know how to get that, right? It's 2 times 2 times 2. Wonderful. Now take your calculator and say 2 and do that little exponent box that you find on your calculator and type -3. Tell me what your answer is. Oh, I forgot your calculators do the decimal stuff. 2 -3. Press SD. If you get 0,125, press the SD button. Hours. I hope I said your name correctly. Do you have a question?
No, ma'am, I don't have a question, but I have an answer.
Let's hear your answer.
My answer is 1 over 8.
1 over 8. Thank you.
Yes.
So you see that it's not the same thing. If
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
have 8 pizzas and you have 1 over 8 pizzas, this means you have 1 slice out of 8 slices, right? That's what this part means. It means
Yes.
1 of 8 slices. But this means you have 8 whole pizzas. Do we understand why we cannot say now that x squared is the same as x to the -2? That's not the same thing. I hope we all understand. Okay, thank you very much for talking to me. In the chat, tell me if you understand now why you cannot say x squared and x to the power of -2 are the same thing. Okay, the one is a fraction, so it's a part of a whole, but the other is the whole. Okay, I hope we can understand that. What you need to know from this rule is if you have a negative exponent, you can either move your variable to the numerator or to the denominator according to where it is currently. So if you have 1 over a -4, you can move this up and change your exponent to a positive. So this will become a to the power of 4 over 1, but we don't write over 1, so it will just be a4. I hope we are starting to get a better understanding here. Okay. I hope so. Yes, Tando. Okay, we are comparing wholes and we are comparing fractions. I hope everyone else is with me. Now let's do the next one and see whether everyone else is with me. This time we have 2 variables, okay? That's the only difference. We have 2 variables. Let's start with x, okay? Let's start with x. What's gonna happen here? If there's no exponent, what isn't there? Oh, Asanda. Asanda is making progress. Asanda is already giving us the answer and I love it. Okay, if there's nothing there, then there's a 1. So with x is you're going to have x to the exponent of 1 minus 2 because the 1 is in the numerator and the 2 is in the denominator. right? Then y is going to be 3 minus 5. Okay, hope you are with me so far. Equals x, 1 minus 2 is negative 1, as Asanda has told us, and 3 minus 5 will be negative 2. Now, we need to rewrite these as positive exponents, and I hope Esther is going to help me with that. I hope that's how your hand is up, Esther. Hello. Hello. In the meantime, in the chat, tell me how we're going to rewrite this as positive exponents. Okay, in the meantime, they are over 1. Right? They are over 1. How do we rewrite these with positive exponents? Let me know. Asante says, oh, there we go. Asante is understanding, but Asante didn't want to talk to me. KFC, no, we're not tipping and timesing. How do we rewrite these? SNV. SNV. Who's who wrote that? Azandre. Unmute for me and tell me what SNV stands for. You swap the numerator and the denominator. Then what happens to the exponents?
Afternoon,
Hello.
afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to actually say, my teacher told me that if it's like on top, we can literally like swap them like we do in division, meaning we put the x -1, y -2 as the denominator and the 1 at the top, which makes them immediately change to like a positive number.
So you move these to the bottom, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So what will it be? What will be left with at the top?
The 1, ma'am.
The 1 over. I'm going to tell you why saying swap them is dangerous, but let's continue right now. What's going to be at our bottom now, at our denominator?
X, y, 2.
X, y squared. Thank you very much. Okay. So guys, I'm going to show you the next example why saying we swap them is very dangerous. Okay, but this is the correct answer. All we did was we moved our x to the denominator and then we moved our y to our denominator. So there was nothing left there, but you can't write 0. It's a 1. Okay. Now, let us move to number C. Let's move to number C. See, someone just raised their hand. Dimpo, do you have a question? Or are you answering number C with me, which would be wonderful. Hi, Dimpo.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, like it's a question. It's a question. Yes, like the previous of this question. Like I don't get how you got like 1 to the power xy to the power 2. I mean like x divided by xy to the power 2.
X divided by X. Oh,
No, like
okay.
1.
You don't understand why how we
XY.
got from here to the second step. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember law
Yes.
number 2 of exponents?
Law number 2 of exponents.
If we are dividing numbers with the same base, what happens to the
It was
exponents?
for
Oh, you buffered a bit. I don't know if it's my connection or yours.
we minus.
We minus. Thank you. So you say whatever is at
If
the
we are dividing, we
numerator,
minus.
but this is dividing, isn't it? When you have, what does this slide mean? It means divide. Okay. So if you had this, you would say the numerator minus the denominator. You did exactly the same thing here. Okay. Just remember, if x doesn't have an exponent, oh, you're buffering quite a lot. Try to put your question in the chat, Jill. You're buffering very, 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 very much. I think it's your connection. Put your answer in the chat and we can still chat about it. Okay, I'm looking at the chat right now. I hope everyone understands where we got the -1 and the -2. We just applied law number 2. Okay, you subtract your exponents. Then you can move to the top or to the bottom according to the law of negative exponents. Okay, I'm going to wait for Dimple to message me. In the meantime, let's work with number C. Number C has a lot of laws attached to it. You have two options of doing this. Okay, option number 1 is you're going to first distribute your -1. Okay, you know you've done this law. I saw it in the slides. Option number 2 is we are first going to change this to a positive exponent. Now give me ideas in the chat. How would we work with the numbers inside if we're going to change the one that's outside into a positive exponent? Now it's a little bit tricky, isn't it? Now we're not just changing, moving one number, right? We have a whole bracket and then negative exponent, which is outside. Now tell me, how do we deal with that? Give me ideas, guys. Raise your hand. Anyone? Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and prove it. Nope. Okay, do you at least remember the distributing law then? No, Vuyo? Let's hear what you have to say. No, Vuyo. There we go.
Ma'am, I'm not sure if you're right about this one, but it will be the -1 will change to a +1, and then x will be 1 divided by 2, because 2 is the value of x, then y 2 minus 1.
Okay, I see what you did. I see what you did. Okay, you're almost there, but not quite. I saw someone else had their hand up, so I'm hoping. Oh, they disappeared. Who had their hand up? Come back. Come on, guys, give us ideas. Hey, Novoya, do you remember the distributive law of the exponents?
Do you see Asande's answer in the chat?
Multiply the numbers inside with the numbers outside because the brackets change these signs. A Sunday, we multiply. So are you saying, yes, you distributed the exponents. I'm hoping that's what you're saying. So you're going to take this -1 and distribute it to x and to y squared and to 2 and to y. Let us do that. I'm assuming that's what a Sunday is saying, and that would be correct. Okay. X, if you're distributing the exponents, there's already a 1 there. We multiply. I hope you guys remember this. Then we have a y that already had a square there, multiplied by -1, all over. 2 had a 1, multiplied by -1, and y had a 1, multiplied by -1. Now let's simplify this. What is 1 multiplied by -1? Tell me in the chat. 1 multiplied by -1. That is true, Amahle. -1 and positive give you a negative. And then 1 times 1 is just how much? We're very still suddenly. There we go. -1. Okay. And then we have y. 2 times -1 is how much? How much it says -2. So that's Sunday, so that's everyone else. Thank you very much. That would be -2 all over 2 -1 and y -1. Ivile, welcome back. You had your hand up earlier, but you vanished. What's up, Ivile? Hello.
Ma'am, that was a mistake.
Ah, thought you were gonna talk to me. That's fine. Ibile, don't vanish. Are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's move these. We want them to have positive exponents, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the x is gonna move
To the bottom.
the denominator. So we're gonna have an x at the bottom. You don't have to write the exponent 1, but I'm gonna write it anyway. What else is moving to the denominator?
The y.
With the squared, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What do we have in our numerator?
We have -1.
No. Remember, this one was a negative, so we're moving to the numerator. Eh? When it gets to the
Yes.
numerator, it becomes a positive.
Positive.
Here we go, exponent. So then we move the 2 as well, and it becomes 2 to the positive 1. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Are we done?
No.
What do we still have to simplify?
Ma'am, don't we have to take out, don't the y's cancel each other? Then
Here
the
we
exponent,
go. So what's gonna happen to the y's? 2.
then don't the exponents on top of the y subtract each other or divide?
They do. They subtract each other. So if it's y, 1 minus 2 over x. We still have an x at the bottom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this will be 2y negative 1 over x. Do we want this negative 1?
No.
So we're moving it to the,
Bottom to the
so your final
denominator.
answer is 2 over x, y. Thank you very much, Evile, for not running away. Okay, I hope we are sort of getting it. Azandra's like, brain break, I'm tired, stop it. Oh my gosh, let's see. Brain break. Oh, we have one of those picture sums that's going down. Let's read the joke first. I just saw my math teacher with a piece of graph paper. I think he must be plotting something. Oh my gosh, guys, that's such a lame joke. It's so lame that I am stealing it for my own class. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take it for myself. I love it. I love the lameness. Okay, giving you guys up until 10 to figure this out. Okay, we are figuring this out. Nelisa is laughing, guys. Math people are
So lame, but it's funny.
It is. It's so lame. I am stealing it. I'm not even like, I'm done. It's my joke now.
Yeah. I wonder what they're plotting though. Because since
I
you're a teacher, you
also
must
wonder.
know what you guys are
Guys, we're
plotting.
not always plotting. Yes,
You are,
it's very hard to see the joke.
maybe there's an
and
upcoming
the-
quiz or whatsoever,
Lol.
unprepared tests.
Geez, you're making us so slecht. Math teachers are really nice, guys. We're nice people. There you go. Now we can see the joke and the brain break. Something is brewing. I wonder what it is, Bridget. It's all love. That's all it is. Okay? Don't let Melissa convince you guys that we're doing something dangerous here. Okay, anyone solve this yet? What does the joke mean? Let's see, but you know when you're drawing a graph, you are plotting points. Like when you're putting the points down, you are plotting them, but also like plotting something means like you are up to something that's not good. So like it's a
Like a
double
path.
meaning.
Yeah.
Oh my. Someone's laughing in the reactions. I love it. Ivile?
Oh, the Sima finally got it. No?
Oh
Okay.
my God. So lame. Ma'am, may you please go to the top. Okay, where's Singobile? Let's first finish the brain break and I'll scroll up. I'm gonna scroll back up. Okay, still have things to solve up there. Has anyone solved this yet, guys?
Paul was like the rainbows are 4 and the umbrellas, the 2 umbrellas are 10.
Okay, how did Info get to that one?
I'll be like 10 times 4 plus 4.
Oh. 10 times 4 plus, oh, that's how we got it. Okay, so Mpo, you must type in the chat so everyone can see it. So this would be 10, is that what he's saying?
No, the rainbow will be 4, the umbrellas will be 10.
Okay, so one umbrella would be
5.
5. Okay, one
Well
umbrella
done,
is
Paul.
well done, Mpo, and that would work. Okay, so this would be 10 times 4, which would be 40 plus 4 is 44. Okay, now we have 2 umbrellas. Each of them are 4, so this is 8. So 2 clouds plus 8 equals 30. That means 30 minus 8 is 22, so the clouds have to be 11. Are we agreeing?
Yes.
Let's see in the chat. Major shout out, Mpo. Okay, so now we've established that the clouds are 11 and the umbrella is 5. And here we have how much? 11, 11 again. Is that what we're saying? Yes, 33 plus 5 is 38. So what's the final answer? This is 5 and that's 11. And that would be 4 and 4, which is 8. How much do we have? Let's see in the chat what the final answer is. Bonga? Hello. Are we telling us the final answer? 24, 440. It's definitely not 24. Sponga. Is Sponga answering? Everyone agrees it's 440. There we go. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure, but I think my answer is 440.
440. It seems like that's what everyone says. So you're going to say 5 times 11, which is 55, times 8, which is 440. Thank you very much. Okay. Are we all happy with our joke and our brain break? Okay, can I fry your brains one more time? One, but we're only moving one more, guys, and then I'll end the lesson. Okay? I'll end the lesson after. No, but these are too easy for me. It's fine. Let's stick to this one. Let's do number D. Okay, let's talk about number D. Someone asked me to scroll up earlier. I'm back up. I'm not sure what you wanted to get. Okay, which 2 variables are we moving? Tell me in the chat. Which 2 variables are we moving to the denominator? Okay, remember we've only moved those ones that have a negative exponent. Okay, so which variables are we moving for number D? Let me know. Between X, Y, and Z, which ones are moving? Okay, it really says Y and Z. Y and Z. It says Y and Z. I'm assuming that was supposed to be Y because they're right next to each other on the keyboard. Okay, seems like we all agree Y and Z. Tell me why those 2 are moving. I want to see if you guys understand why these are the 2 that are moving. Why Y and Z? Okay, everyone seems to agree. You're all correct. Y and Z are moving because they have negative exponents. Voto Hawe. I need to learn how to say your name properly, but yes, they have negative exponents. So your X is going to stay in the numerator, right? Tell me what happens when they go to the bottom. What happens to the exponents? What happens when Y and Z moves to the bottom? The exponents become positive. Incredible, guys. You guys are getting this. So it'll be Y cubed and Z1, which we don't have to write, but you can if you want to. Okay, I'm starting to think you guys are sort of getting there. You're sort of getting there. How about I challenge you to first solve these. Let's see. Yes, E and F. First solve them and then write the answer in terms of a positive exponents. Solve and right? With positive exponent. Take a screenshot now and do these. And I will try to start here next time, if I remember. Okay, we're gonna rush up to the next class soon. Hope you guys are feeling okay about this, okay?